Hello, 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 everyone. Let me just turn down the music here a little bit. Hopefully, everyone is doing well tonight. Today, we're going to be working on, you guessed it, Fate Lonely Dance. As I said before, let's zoom up to 250%. We can see all that. And let me start my notepad, because why would we be here without it? Let me just do a quick check. Hello. And there we are. Alrighty then. So what are we doing today? So we're just going to go through everything and make sure everything looks the way it should be. As you can see by the name of the stream, I am taking the piss out of this game quite a bit. So let's take a look. Let's see. Change this little section down here, so just so we are listening to Expedition, Soviet Wave Mix. And what I'm doing right now, one of the key things is, if we look here, and this is actually the character sheet I did up for it, as you can tell, it's very in-depth, is that servant characters have, well, roughly speaking, an X next to some abilities. And pretty much what this is to symbolize, at least, is the overpowered nature of some of the servants. So, for example, what I want to get across is, let's say, regular person has a physical of A. He is probably one of the strongest people you'll know. He's incredibly tough. However, if he goes against a servant who has a physical of A, but they have this mark next to it, they're going to lose. Like that. They're just automatically pretty much going to be losing. I don't quite know the best way to actually display that, however. Well, this has been kind of my compromise on the matter of you pretty much get the supernatural attribute. So let's see. Consider supernatural. So let's do a footnote. Yeah, okay. That's my compromise right there. Pretty much the idea being is if you've put yourself as supernatural, you are kind of fundamentally making yourself stronger, fundamentally making yourself better at this particular thing. And it also pretty much leads to servants having to play around a little bit more when it comes to direct competitions. Because let's say I have supernatural strength in something, but they don't. I'm going to be able to beat them. Easy. I'm going to win. But they can turn it around on me pretty easy. So it's kind of that, how do we want to handle things a little bit. And I might put a footnote at the this is it's one of those things where I keep looking at it, and some part of me says something's wrong with it, but another part of me is like, it's fine. So I'm going to put it in there for now. That's... You also see a lot of this is actually justified. I'm going to do this, make Lancer a little tinier, because we all like Lancer. Okay. A lot of... Let's remove that. Physical, character strength and endurance. Character with high physical is incredibly strong and able to easily surmount challenges set before them in athletics. The physical is frail, can't handle probably stress to their body. So let's see. Mental, character's intelligence and wit. Character with high mental can quickly decipher puzzles and must do with ease, but slow in the uptake, and sometimes can move to reason out some things, some more difficult things in life. Casters. Okay, so what we're actually going to do, we're going to make a character. So this is my example character. I made Constantine the 11th, last defender of Byzantium, and all this stuff. And his master Yuri Galshanov. A good old-fashioned Soviet. So we're going to be, let's see. Now, if I actually had a chat, what I'd be saying is, who do we want to make? But since I don't have a chat, what I'm going to do is we want to do, let's see, random, let's see. Let's see, 10 historical figures we probably don't know. Alexander the Great, no, we already have him. Marco Polo, okay. Che Guevara, oh, Mother Teresa, oh, that's not a very good. Julius Caesar, they're already in Fate. Billy the Kid's already in Fate. Galileo's already in Fate. All these are women, by the way, in the Fate. Confucius isn't. Cleopatra is, I think, I actually, I'm pretty sure she is. And Muhammad and then Gandhi. God damn it, Janet. Okay, we need to think of someone completely random. Stream, what's up? You're saying you're unstable. Stable bit rate. Alright, let me do a quick check on everything. We'll put it on BR. Well, I have no idea why I'm getting unstable bitrate. There should be nothing wrong with this. Probably just because I have things playing in the background and there's just a lot of stuff going on. But, c'est la vie. So let's get back to it. Yeah, let me... Oh, there we go. Fixed itself. Boom. This is what we do. So we're just gonna make example person. God, what's a good historical figure we can rag on? You know what? Let's just make him master. Let's make him master. We're gonna call him Henry Danger. Yeah, his name's gonna be Henry the American. Campaign. example for stream. Concept, All-American Hero. Class, Master. Alright, so here's our attributes, and we have 10 to work with. So we have 10 to work with. So let's say if we want to be the All-American Hero, of course we got to be tough. We got to be big, strong. If we're not that, what the hell are we? So we're going to be A in that. We're going to be A in that. Warfare, however, we're not going to be really that good at war. Actually, we're going to be real good at warfare. We're going to be A in warfare as well. Why? Because we are strong American boys, and we don't take anything from anyone. So technically, we are at -2 right now. So mental, on the other hand, we are going to be actually pretty awful at that. We're going to be D-. We're not going to be very clever boys, so we're going to be 2 now. Power, we're not actually going to be that good of a mage, so we're going to, we'll make ourselves, we'll give ourselves a D in that. We'll be -3 on it. So technically we're at 5, so we're going to spend the rest of it on bravado. So 5, we're going to be A- in bravado. So here's our Henry the All-American Hero. So, powers, perks, and skills. Let's see, a power, perk, skill. Let's see. How many do you get by default? Okay, it has access to 3. Servants have access to 5. So we get 3. Now, my example one, your Galshanov here, actually blow it up 250, is I gave him 2 powers and 1 perk. He's the Red Scare. He has, instills a sense of dread around him. Pretty much he's just a scary motherfucker, and everyone doesn't really want to screw with him because he's going to fuck you up. He also has the People's Champion. He can increase his own physical attributes at the cost of his own well-being. He may increase physical and warfare by ++ if he accepts a negative to all attributes when he's finished. So, pretty much, he can bump himself up to, it'd be A-, and that'd be A and A- physical, at the cost of getting reduced down to like negatives on a bunch of things. Like he takes and gives, because one of the big thing is everything equals out with each other. And his perk, so if we go here, his perk unique background, give a plus anytime, goes up a full step. Actually, I gotta rewrite these terms to make it a little bit easier to do. I actually based the system off an old one that was used for Evangelion, actually. So if things seem a little bit confusing, to say the least, it's because I'm going off about 5 different things. You'll notice with all of my games that I go through them is I base a lot of things off each other. So what starts as one thing will quickly morph into another thing, which will morph into another thing. So let's get our All-American Hero, Henry the give me 1 second. Henry the American. He's gonna have his perk, the All-American Superstar. We're going to give him a power. We're also going to give him a skill. We're going to give him a little bit of everything. His skill, we go off here, precise application of ability, is he's going to be specialized in firearms. his power. We're going to call it America the Beautiful. I'm going to completely butcher spelling of beautiful, by the way, so I'm... Actually, no. There we go. That's Henry in a nutshell. Very much. He's not a very good mage. He's actually not terribly smart. However, he gets bonuses as long as he is quite literally pretending to know what he's doing. As long as he can bullshit it, saying that this is definitely how it works, he can make it work. He gets bonuses for doing that. So let's see. So a plus anytime. We want to reword this. So that's what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make rank up goes up a full level. Wow. God, what's the best way? Rank up goes up a full level. What would be another bump? Bump up goes up a... Yeah, goes up a step. Okay. Rank up. We want to do insert footnote. Know it. What we want to do. It's going to be a little smaller in so I can fit everything in there. Bump up. To rank up any attribute once. Rank up rank. A to B, C to ETC. Technically, I should put a period there and a period there. Let's see. Each power perk and unique item. Powers, perks, skills, or unique items. Now, unique items are kind of dependent on the situation. That is, for example, some of Ren's things, like her locket, and that is if you want to have like a special thing, like for example, Henry the All-American Hero, how I have him set up, I forgot even to add thing about Fate, he's going to be a C in Fate, is how he is set up is that he has to almost entirely rely on his attributes because he doesn't have any special equipment. He literally just has what he has on him. While someone else might gimp some of their attributes. In exchange, they might get a really powerful tool that they can use, which is, again, completely valid tactic. So we want... So if we also look at Constantine here, Constantine's thing is that he has a lot of skills. He doesn't actually have that many powers. And what powers he does have, as you can see right here, are very situational. Again, his main skills come from swordcraft and shield work. He's literally just good at defending himself and slashing people. His perk, the Heroic Defender of Byzantium, is he's going to be able to defend people. He's going to get a bonus anytime he is defending people. As you can kind of see by his attributes here, he has an S in warfare. He is a really good general. He's going to be able to fight that. However, his biggest problem is right here. He only has an E in Fate. He's not... Destiny is not kind to Constantine, and he knows it. And territory creation is one of the powers he picked up. Okay, let's keep going down. Let's see if I can notice anything else that I didn't before. 2 attribute points. Yeah, 2 attribute points. Now, with Heroic Spirits, if we were doing Heroic Spirit, well, we're not going to be doing that, is everyone would get a class that kind of adds on to things. Now, I debated on going with the full system that is already present in Fate. However, the system in Fate doesn't quite work. And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of moving parts with it. And as I've expressed before, the more moving parts you have in anything, the more confusing it gets. And yeah, I could sit down here and go one for one with the hundreds of skills, but a lot of them are specific or really dependent on like who's using them, not for the application we're going off. If you really look at it, you gotta go off Fate Go for a lot of information. Fate Grand Order, the gacha game, because that has the most amount of content to it, just overall. And you'll notice there is that it's a lot of stuff. Just a lot of stuff to go off of, and that's not easy to sort through. And it's just like, what's the difference between territory creation and master of, area creation? What's the difference there? Well, if you look at here, it means this, this, and this. No, because they want to have something slightly different word for it. And I put it down to this for the sake of playing. And you can kind of see here, I should actually put rank up fight. And I actually used the Prisma Ilia cards for this rather than the actual ones, because these ones are actually a little bit higher quality when I could actually find, except Berserker. As you notice, all of them are kind of the same except Berserker, because they must have not have been dealing with that in Prisma Ilia. I only watched the first season. I know things get completely banana crazy in the later seasons, which I still need to watch. I know, kill me if you want. Now, you may be wondering with some of these attributes, like, wouldn't it be really... oh, shit. Okay, let's move you over a little bit. Let's move you over a little bit. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Yeah, let's move you over just a bit. Okay. Now, you may be wondering, wouldn't it be easy for you to kind of game this system a bit? Yeah, it's very easy for you to game this system and, create your perfect servant. But that's kind of what the point is. Like, the characters here are supposed to be very strong. Any way you look at it, but you also kind of have to compromise your weaknesses, and your strengths and weaknesses are important, because you're going to kind of noticing caster here. If you want to make the most efficient caster, you want to have you want to have only power. You want to have, physical real low. But what happens if you get into a fight? You're now dealing with F rank physical, and you're getting your kicked in half a second before you can even get off a spell. So it's kind of that, where do you want to assign things to, do you want to compensate your problems, or do you want to, prop up your good parts? And you do notice a lot of them have kind of simple powers. You kind of see right here, independent actions perk is normally. And what I actually should do is take all of these and go. Alright, so here's Magecraft. Magecraft is a little bit strange. Now you see here with Yuri, shows what he is, what his foundation is. What a foundation is the character's base in which all magic is derived from. And pretty much that is how people actually use their magic. This is the important part for them. And, some exotic martial arts, deep scholarship, reliance on magic crystals, or an artifact, or something like that. Your foundation kind of defines the character in its, in general. It kind of defines where it is and, who they are. The elemental affinity is what their element is. And, let's see, base element react toward them is particular. Yeah, perpetual flavor to all abilities that the magus may perform. Now, the 5 key elements are the most common. Earth, wind, fire, water, void. Technically, if you want to be specific, you can add in a more Eastern flavored wood there, but I don't want to, because that's what it is in the Nasu verse. Or you can make a more specific variety to refine them down even more specifically. Swords, imaginaries, numbers. For Yuri here, his elemental affinity is earth. His foundation is Slavic shamanism. He's literally old school. I'm going to practice this in the back, and this is how, grandma, this is how my babushka taught me. I'm going to now, I can do it like that too. In origin, the single precise detail that encompasses the entirety, their entire personality and existence. It ties the foundation and affinity to the application and back. For example, origins severing and binding, elucidation, or breaking. Effectively, this ties to this to get to the application. So, let's say, for example, my one example character I have throughout here, her foundation is martial arts. Her affinity is fire. Her origin is breaking. And she uses that to break her body to perform larger, abilities with her body, effectively. She breaks her body to do things with her body. That's kind of like my... Let's see. Yeah, this is one thing I need to expand on. This is what effectively what the stream is going to be being, is me talking to myself and seeing what needs to be changed and what doesn't. Yeah, right here. But these are effectively, problem children. It's like in any system where you have complications or something akin to that. Reverse powers, perks, and skills. And you get a attribute point for one of these, and you get up to 3 of them. So you can't actually get that much with these. However, some of these can actually be a big problem. Problematic powers, forcing them to buy expensive gems to employ their magic. Burden of a perk, being this like, hey, we're taking, bump down to all our attributes. I'm fundamentally weaker when I'm not doing this thing. A crippling skill, rank down. A full rank down, which is actually really bad in some situations. So, let's see. Yeah, I use the term beats as it was kind of the when I was writing this, I used the term a lot with when I was kind of talking with my friends of narrative beats. The 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 in any thing you do, pretty much. So let's say you want to do a thing. Let's say you want to attack someone. The narrative beats are: get ready to attack, we're attacking, you've attacked them, they hurt, end. What this is kind of like you're taking the beats on each other to kind of deal with each other. So each character has 10 beats to make decisions during a conflict. Character loses beats equal to the difference in the attributes. A C rank versus an A rank would lose 6 beats a turn. Again, you only have 10. The character has any remaining beats that can switch how the conflict is going by doing one of 3 things. Switch attributes, which again, that's your kind of your big one right here. Like, you just switch what we're doing. Instead of fighting, we're now talking. Instead of talking, we're now going to kill each other. Power. You can just use a power and just turn the tide of fight. Like, hey, I'm going to use my power that lights everyone on fire. That's my trump card. Got him. Or cheat. Pretty much what cheating is, if you're really close in a match, you only lose them by 1 or like only actually let me see. Bump up their attribute twice, but they can't overpower an enemy with this right now. It may be over. So if you're getting really close and switching attributes isn't really a good idea, as they're just gonna switch it right back on you and kick your ass. you may want to cheat. They're real low. I'm just going to cheat right now, or mitigate the conflict right now, or this is your delay tactic. Crap, I need to delay, not change. I need to delay it. Now, this is kind of the narrative of this rule right here. As I said before, I don't like narrativist games, but using a system like this, you have to have aspects of it. It's pretty much when you employ a tactic, they have changed the conflict in some meaningful way that makes it difficult to go back. Example, changing a bravado conflict to a physical conflict would imply the characters have tackled each other to the ground and not trying to beat one another up. You can't really say, okay, well, let's go back to talking. That's not going to work. That's a no-no. So you can't really go back. So there are some kind of natural conclusions to some conflicts that you can't really negotiate your way out. But you can cheat or use a power. That's kind of like why these two are here. You can't always switch attributes, but you can always do one of these two. Actually, let me read. Let's remove that little part there. Let's remove Suzuki a little bit. I want to change human to mortal. Yeah, there we go. So effectively, if you have... Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, if I were to run this, if I myself were to, get a gun pointed to my head being like, okay, you gotta run me my Fate game that I've always wanted to, I would use the escalations rule. Pretty much what the kind of the advanced rules are, like, this is very simple. This conflict is one page, but it's kind of covering everything conflict-wise. I would use the advanced conflict system. I wouldn't use wounds and complications. That's kind of my personal, like, this is the, if you want it the more narrativist style, but you don't want people to like lose right away, it's wounds and complications. But I would use escalation regardless. Now, mind you, others may not. That's why it's in the the optional stuff. Because you may start. I actually stole this from Dogs in the Vineyard, or Dogs in the Vineyard, if you pronounce it that way. Which has a system like this in place, which I actually quite enjoyed. And it's just the idea that things escalate, even though you're rolling the same dice in that game. Or in this case, again, what may start as an arm wrestling match may end up as you guys throwing each other against walls, buildings start getting destroyed, people start getting hurt. But you're still in a competition with each other. But the general flavor, let's say, is different. And this is my compromise with the crap, I don't have a skill, and count. What do we do if someone needs to hold a door? Well, you use this system. You use the TN contribution, or usually when it's non-conflict types, like my example is character needs to erect a magical barrier surrounding their home. Narrator starts at target number 20 and sets time frame to being hours. Character with C rank contributes 8 to the target number. They would require 3 hours to fully erect the barrier. However, a character with B rank will only require 2. So it's kind of the how long do you want to take this and how it goes. And Holy Grail War, a lot of this is more story stuff, which I really should. Let's see. Yeah, this is all story stuff. Yeah, this is my example war, the Sarajevo Shuffle. And let me actually use the proper your there. God, I love English so much. Let's see. So the main goal is the acquisition of the Saint's Blessing to acquire the power of servants crossing back into the throne or essential catalyst to bring it about. The prize of Saint's Blessing, a divine power-up for any mortal, either granting eternal life, unlimited power, or any sort of divine favor that can be bestowed upon a person. For a servant, it is akin to the Holy Grail. 13 servants, 13 masters. So for masters. Okay. Yeah. Command seals are really important. Phantasms aren't really. And the music is done, actually, so let me swing on some new music. There we go. 1 hour of melancholic Soviet wave, second mix, by a man named Truck Fighter with a Wojak, with Soviet Wojak as his avatar, so you know it's good. Okay. So I'm actually going to cut this one a little bit short tonight because we did go over a lot of little things and we did work on some stuff. However, I am going to do a little list. List to do for Fate's Lonely Dance. Alright. So what do we need? So if we can start from the top and let's go down. Well, actually, one thing I know right off the bat is equipment lists and items. So that's going to be one pretty big thing. I'm going to actually make a sub that is defining noble phantasms and rogue equipment. Secondly, we're going to clean up powers, perks, and skills. As a subnote is define powers better. It's going to be one of our key goals right there. Yeah, I want to make the... Not everything is a power, but every character has powers. So that's kind of one of the big things. Because you have to remember, everyone is a mage. To some degree. Everyone has ability to use magic, maybe not well, though. So I want to kind of get that across a little bit more. Which brings me to another point, is give characters more personality. Now, what do I mean by personality? Well, if we look at the character sheets here, this is Yuri Galshinov, and this is Henry the American. At the end of the day, these two are actually fairly similar. They both have the same amount of skills, perks, and powers. They may be different. However, they still operate roughly the same. And what I want to try to do is... I want Yuri to feel definitively different than Henry. And I want these two characters to, even though they have different stats and everything, to feel very different from one another. And have their kind of personality come out a little bit more here, and in their powers, and what they can do versus what they can't do. I want that to become a little bit more of a bigger thing. Let's see. Oh. Servant. Abilities. Descriptions. Because independent action makes a lot of sense to me, who knows the system, or people who know it, but again, I have to always account for people who have absolutely no goddamn idea what the hell fate is. Or, you know, you have to account for three people anytime you design a game. I know everything about this. I know some of this. I know nothing. And that's why game kind of generic systems are pretty good in that, because you can kind of take out the I know nothing people. However, with more system-specific, setting-specific games, like this, for example, having that, you have to kind of explain the specifics a bit more. So that's why that section's going to be there, and I'll describe that hopefully in my own words to make it as best as I can get it. Clean up Magecraft. I like this. It's not required, nor is it kind of that. I think when I'm fixing up or cleaning up powers, perks, and skills, this will kind of get fixed by itself. I'll do clean up conflict. Possibly... What I might do is take out advanced conflict and... what I may do is take out this entirely, however, replace and put it in, instead of being advanced, kind of put it into the base version of it. If I were to do that, I'd have to decide whether or not I want to keep wounds and complications or the health bar system. I might look into that. I might do some stuff tomorrow regarding that, kind of sit down and think about it. Encounters work, but again, they're not supposed to come up like all the time, so them being a little bit bare bones is kind of how it's supposed to be. Oh yeah. There we go. And war rules. You may be wondering, what do you mean by war rules? I want each war to feel a little bit more special. So, pretty much added to this section right here is, you know, who does what, and, you know, kind of flavoring the war a little bit more mechanical backing. Because again, the more mechanics there are, the better your players are. Mechanics benefit the players, lack of mechanics benefits the GM. That's kind of the rule of thumb there. Now you may be saying, but not all games. Most games. Most games are like that. So, let's see. Yeah. Alright, so add a little bit more backing there. And, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Yep, so this is our goal going forward, is we want to get some equipment stuff in there. We want to find noble phantasms and heroic equipment. Pretty much the difference between I am using my Excalibur and I'm using one of my just cool pieces of equipment that I have on me that isn't... it's part of my repertoire, however, it's not my noble phantasm. Because not all equipment is noble phantasms, but all noble phantasms may be equipment sometimes, so it's kind of the definition of noble phantasm has greatly expanded over the long time. So we'll deal with that as it comes. More personality, that I have a few ideas for that. I have to, again, think about it a little bit more. A lot of these are just cleaning up. And what cleaning up is literally just me rereading it about 9 times and adding bits and pieces here, bits and pieces there to make things work the way it should. Alright, well, thank you all who actually watched this far in or just skipped here. I'm probably watching by myself again, and hopefully everyone has a wonderful rest of their night. I'm going to hold off for 5 seconds, and there we go. We just hit the hour mark. Haha!